So good evening everyone. So am I audible? Please mention in the comments about the clarity of the audio and video. So a very warm good evening. Can you please confirm the quality of audio and video so that I can proceed into the lesson. So we have already seen part 1 of directions, where I have explained you the entire concept, and we have solved some sample questions as well. Today we'll be focusing only on questions, as the concept has already been explained to yesterday in the yesterday's video, or part 1 of directions. Someone, if you are actually attending this class directly without watching part 1, so I request you to go back and watch part 1 before actually watching this video, because we will be directly solving questions in this video. Okay, so so this is the first question for today. Yesterday we have solved some 5 questions of type 1. I already said that I'll be doing questions based on type 1 and type 2 kind of direction based questions. So we have already seen 5 questions yesterday. Today we'll be starting from question number 6, which belongs to type 1 again. Type 2 questions will be solved late in the later part of the video. Okay. So before myself answering the question, so those who are in the live, can you please mention the answer for the question? Please mention your answer in the comments. As you have already learned the concept yesterday, I think you can straight away answer the question. Yes, very good evening, Prasad Jeevan. So can you answer the question? W walked 40 meters towards west, took a left turn, and then he walked for 30 meters again. He then took a right turn and walked for 20 meters. He again took a right turn and walked for another 30 meters. So finally the question is, how far is he from his starting point? So he started from certain point, and he has taken several turns and walked a certain amount of distances every time he turned. So ultimately, when he stopped, or when he reached the destination, what is the shortest possible distance between the starting and the ending points? That is the question. So can you post your answer? 60 west. So okay. So here in this question, they are not demanding the direction though, but if you can answer the direction as well, that is good. Okay, let me do it. W walked towards west. Okay, so I am assuming that this is the starting point. Okay, I'll denote it by SP. Moving west means I have to go towards left. What is the distance? 40 meters. So accordingly, you draw the line. Okay, draw the line according to the value mentioned in the distance. 40 meters, so I have drawn this much. If it is 50, it has to be slightly longer than this line. If it is 20, it has to be half of it. Likewise, okay. But ensure that you are not getting confused later on. Okay, so then he took a left turn. See, he is actually traveling this way. If he took a left turn, then he has to come down. That is towards south. So he took a left turn. That is, he is moving towards south and walked for around 30 meters actually. So he took a left turn, means moving towards south, and he has gone for how many meters? 30 meters. Got it? Now, actually, he is going this way. Alva, now he took a right turn and walked for 20. See, when you are going towards south, when you actually take a right turn, obviously will be moving towards west, right? And what is the distance? I'm sorry, 20 meters. So walked at 20 meters. Then finally, he again took a right turn and walked for 30. Now, as he is actually going towards west, if he took a right turn, then it has to be towards north, right? When you are going towards west, if you took a right turn, you will be moving towards west, north. And he walked for how many meters? 30. If you remember this value, it is also 30. So when he is turning this way and is moving for 30 meters, means obviously he has to be in a straight line, right? So he turned this way towards right and walked another 30 meters. So this is also 30. Yes, this is 30. This is also 30. This point and this point and this point means the starting point and ending point. This is the ending point, right? So ಈ ending point, starting point ಎರಡು ಕೂಡ straight line ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ತವೆ, ಒಂದೇ line ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Now what is the final distance from the starting point? From starting point. So from here, what is the distance? See, this is actually 40. This is how much? 20. So if this portion is 20, then this portion also must be 20. So this is 20 meters. You already know up to this point from the starting it is 40. So 40 plus 20, overall distance will be 60 meters. If they ask you direction, as we are looking from starting point and he is here now, so the direction will be towards west, but direction is not asked in the question. You need to answer what is the distance. So answer is what? Option B for 60 meters. Got it? So understood question number 6, everybody. Please reply in the comments that yes, we understood, so that I can move to the next question. And one more important thing. So actually, I'll be traveling and I'll be visiting a place where I may not be having internet. Maybe 4 to 5 days. So what I am planning is tomorrow there will be live class, but it will be early because I have to catch a train. Maybe 6:30 to 7:30. Likewise, my plan is to I will already record the videos, but I will give those videos as live premieres. It will be live only during the same time. Daily, probably 1 or 2 videos will be posted. It will be, though I won't be live, but the recorded video will be premiered, okay, as it appears to be live. So you need to be interactive. You have to post your answers as if I am speaking, okay. So I want to inform you prior, so that's why I'm giving this information. Okay, so with that, okay, we are moving to question number what? 7. Can you please answer this one? Sushil walked 15 meters towards south, took a left, then walked 20. Again, he took a left turn and walked 15. How far and in which direction is he from the starting point? Can you post your answer in the questions? Sorry, comments. Can you post your answer in the comments, please? At least 1 or 2 people, if you post your answer, then I can actually solve it. So Sushil walked 15 meters. It is very clearly mentioned towards south. So let us assume that he is starting here. This is the starting point, and he is moving towards south. Walked for how much? 15. So this is actually 15 meters. So as he is moving towards south, if he takes a left turn, he has to move towards east. So he is taking a left turn, and then after taking a left turn, he has gone for another 20 meters. Okay. Again he took a left turn. So as he is actually moving towards east, if he takes a left turn, he will move up or towards north. So after taking a left turn, he is walking for how much? 15. You know already this value is 15. On taking the left turn towards north, if he is moving 15, then this point and the final point has to be or must be in a straight line, right? So this is also given as how much? 15. If this is 15 and this is 15, they have to be of the same length. It implies that the starting point and the ending point both are in the straight line. How far and in which direction is he from the starting point? Starting point is here. So what is the direction? East. Obviously the ending point is towards the east of starting point. What is the distance? If this is 20, this also must be how much? 20 meters only. So you can say that it is 20 meters towards the east. Option B is the right answer. So got it? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? So comments ಏನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. Are you actually there or not? 20. Okay, nanage, I hope my phone's network has issue. So most of you actually commented, but I have not received earlier, but now I got the comments. Okay, guys, fine. Now, can you please solve this one for me? Eighth question. I won't answer until I get at least one comment in the answers. Whether it is right or wrong, it's not an issue, but I want your involvement. Okay. I want you to be involved in the session, and please post your comments and interact properly, whether it is through answers or your opinions or your doubts, etc. So, can you please solve question number 8 and post your answer in the comments? Point P is 11 kilometers towards the east of Q. A man starts from Q and travels 9 kilometers towards west. He then takes a left turn and travels 4 kilometers. He finally takes a left turn and travels 20 kilometers before stopping. How far and towards which direction must he travel in order to reach point P? So it's a slightly typical question which is of mains level, a slightly of higher order. So can you please solve the question and post your answer in the comments? 4 north. Okay, you assume somewhere Q, but it's very clearly mentioned point P is 11 kilometers to the east of point Q. So I'm assuming point Q to be here. And if I go how many kilometers? 11 kilometers. 11 kilometers towards which direction? East. Then I will have a point P. This is 11 kilometers. Okay. Try to understand point number 1. Point P is 11 kilometers towards the east of point Q. So if point Q is here, from point Q this will be north, this will be south, and this will be east, right? So that's what I have assumed. Got it? So, and I am placing P here, and the distance is actually measured to be 11 kilometers. Now, a man starts from point Q and travels 9 kilometers west. So now from Q, if it is west, then he has to go in the opposite direction of P. Alva? And he has gone for how many kilometers? 9. This is 9 and this is 11. Okay. 9 kilometers towards west. He then takes a left turn. So as he is moving towards west, actually, if he takes a left turn, he moves down. Means he will travel towards south. So he takes a left turn and travel for 4 kilometers actually. So left ಗೆ ಟರ್ನ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ 4 kilometers travel ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? He finally takes another left turn. As he is moving towards south, if he takes a left turn, then he has to move towards the east. Got it? So he finally takes another left turn and travels for how many? 20 kilometers before stopping. See, if you look at the value 9, and this is how much, as I said, the distance between Q and P is 11. So this is 11 kilometers, and this distance between this point and Q is 9. So if you add this 9 and 11, automatically the total distance between this point P and this point, which is an unknown point, is actually how much? 20. If you look at the last sentence, he finally takes a left turn and travels how much? 20. Means this distance and the distance that will be traveled after turning left will be 20. Means they are equal, no? When they are equal, this point, this is the ending point. He stopped here. This point and the P will be exactly in a straight line. They will be in the same straight line. Alva? ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 4. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 4. 4 kilometers ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅವನು ಏನ್ ಕೇಳಿದಾನೆ? How far? Distance ಕೇಳಿದಾನೆ. And towards which direction must he travel in order to reach point P? See, he is actually here. To reach P, he has to travel which direction? In the north, no? And what is the distance? 4 kilometers. So the answer has to be he has to travel 4 kilometers in the direction of north to reach point P from the last point he reached. So ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಅವನು 4 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಆವಾಗ P ಅನ್ನೋ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಗೆ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. Okay, so the answer is 4 kilometers and that is towards north. So most of you actually at least on the 3 people answered it. Okay. So what about others? ನೀವು ಕೂಡ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. If you have actually attended the yesterday's class, then it's easy. If you have not attended, please go back and watch part 1 as well, so that you will understand it clearly, because in part 1 I have clearly explained the basic concept of this chapter, directions. Okay. Now, what is the answer for this question? Please answer it. Question number 9. What would be your answer after solving the question? So I'll wait for you to post your answers in the comments. At least after one or two people posting the answer, I will solve the question. Before that, I am not going to solve it. So draw the diagram according to the given information and try to calculate the exact value and post your answer in the comments. A person starts from point A, walks 30 meters towards south and reaches point B. He then takes a right turn, walks 7 meters, followed by another right turn, walks for 6 meters. He then takes another right turn, walks for 7 meters. He takes a final left turn this time, walks a certain distance, exact distance ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, certain distance ಅಂದ್ರೆ you don't know exact value, but he has gone for some distance ಆಯ್ತಾ, and reached point R, but they have not mentioned how many meters it was. Okay, but he reached a point which is known as R. Then they have given you the distance indirectly. Point R is 17 meters to the north of point B. Based on this information, you have to find out what is the exact distance between point A and point R. 13 meters anta obru helidare. So what about others? Did you get any other answer or you agree with them? Ibru 13 meters anta helidare. So a person starts from point A, travels 30 meters towards south. So I am assuming that point A to be here. Okay, so point A, and a person started from here and he actually has gone for how many meters? 30 meters hogidare. He has gone for 30 meters. Okay. South, 30 meters south, and reached which point? Point B. So here is point B. This is B. Now what happens? Now he is taking a right turn and has gone for how much? 7 meters. So as he is actually traveling towards south, if he takes a right turn, he has to move in this direction, and he has gone for how much? Just 7 meters. Then followed by another right turn, 6 meters. As he is actually moving towards west, if he takes a right turn, then he has to move towards north. What is the distance here? This is 6 meters. Then he takes another right turn and walks for 7. See, he is moving towards north. If he takes a right turn, he has to go towards east. This is how much? 7. And after taking right turn also, he has gone for how much? 7 meters only. So this is 7, and I'll remove this because you might get confused later on. So I am writing this 7 meters corresponds to this line. So both are equal. It means that guy is here right now. This portion, the distance between A and B is how much? 30 meters. Okay. And 7 meters aitala. So he takes a final left turn. Now this is the final step, but this time he is not going right. He is taking left turn and walks for a certain distance, unknown distance, but he reached which point? R. So first of all, he has to take a left turn, right? Here he is. This is the point we are talking about. If he takes a left turn, he will move northwards. He will move towards north. But you don't know the exact distance. So unknown distance, I'll write it in red color. So he was here actually after going for this 7 meters, and then he took a left turn. Left turn means towards north, but we don't know exactly how many meters he has gone, but he has gone and stopped at a point which is known as R. But they have not provided you the distance, but indirectly they have told you that that same point R is actually 17 meters north of which point? B. So where is B? B is here. So from here I have to count 17 meters from here. There is already how much here? 6 meters. No, if this portion is 6 and total he has to go for how many meters? 17 meters from point B. So already we are having how much? 6. Up to this point it is 6. Then I have to add to become 17. Already 6 is there. I have to add how much to become 17? 11 meters. So from this point he will travel for how much? 11 meters. He will travel for 11 meters and then he will reach a point which is actually known as R. Now, ultimately the question is then calculate the distance between point A and point R. Point A is here and point R is here. They are asking you what would be the exact distance. I will write it here to reduce the confusion upon rewriting. So, actually this is point A and here comes point B. And this total distance is how much? 30 meters, right? Then from B, there is a middle point. From B here there is a point. This portion is actually equal to how much? 6. But it was clearly mentioned R is 17 meters north of point B. So from point B, if you go towards north, at a distance of 17 meters, I have a point which is named as R. Already up to this point it is how much? 6 meters. But to reach 17, I have to add another 11. So from here, if I go another 11 meters, I will reach a point which is known as R. Now you have to find out this portion. You already know that between A and B the distance is 30. But between B and R what is the distance? 17. So to find out this distance, you simply subtract this 17 meters from this 30 meters. That's it. It's a very simple question if you understand it properly. So 30 minus 17 will be 13. This portion will be 13 meters. It's a very simple question, but you just have to think it logically and diagram na correct agi ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ನೀವು diagram length ಆಚೆ ಈಚೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು confuse ಆಗೋ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. Okay. So this is the final answer, that is 13 meters, the distance between A and R. So can you please confirm whether you understood the question? Have you understood it? ಈ 11 ಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಅಷ್ಟು ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್, ನಾನು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಇಂಥ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. ಈ 6 11 ಕೂಡ ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ, ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಈ ಕಡೆ ಎ ಇದೆ, ಈ ಕಡೆ ಬಿ ಇದೆ, ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ನನಗೆ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇದೆ ಎಷ್ಟು 30 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅವನೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಬಿ ಇಂದ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು 17 ಮೀಟರ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ 17 ಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನ 30, ಈ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನ 17, ಈ ಉಳಿದಿರೋದು ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ 30 ಇಂದ ಈ 17 ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇದೇ ತಾನೇ ಬರೋದು. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಬಟ್ ನಾನು ಈ 11 ಈ 6 ಹೇಳಿದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅನ್ಸ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಇದು ನಾನು ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ನೀವು ಆ ತರ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಯುವರ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ದಟ್ ವೇ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಇರ್ತವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಟೆಡ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾವೆ. ಆ ತರ ಬಂದಾಗ ನೀವು ಇದೇ ತರ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು 11 6 ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಬಟ್ ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬಹಳ ಸಿಂಪಲ್, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಮಾಡೋದೇನಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Okay, now we are actually moving to question number 10. Can you please answer this one? Yesterday I have explained you the concept of shadows. Morning ಆದ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ, ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ, ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ಇನ್ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಬಿಹೈಂಡ್ 4 ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತವೆ. ಟೋಟಲ್ 2 ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್, ಒಟ್ಟು 8 ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಳಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ. ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ 2-3 ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. Now you are having one more question based on the same concept of shadow. So utilize the things that you have learned yesterday and please provide me the answer for this question in the comments. ಸೊ ಬೇಗ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಟೈಮ್ ತೀರಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ. ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಟು ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಒನ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ಲಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್, ನೋ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಸನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್? ಈಸ್ಟ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಶಾಡೋ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಇನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್? ವೆಸ್ಟ್. ಶಾಡೋ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಬೀಳ್ತದೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ? ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಒನ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಸನ್ ರೈಸ್, 2 ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, ಇಬ್ರಿದಾರೆ, ಒಬ್ರಲ್ಲ, 2 ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅತೀಶ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಭಾರತ್ ವರ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಈಚ್ ಅದರ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಟು ಫೇಸ್. ಒಬ್ರು ಮುಖ ಒಬ್ರು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಮುಖ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಹಂಗೂ ಹಾಕಕ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಇಸ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್. ಇದು ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಮ್ಮ. ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಸನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಶಾಡೋ ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಫಾಲ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ವೆಸ್ಟ್. ಶಾಡೋ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಬೀಳ್ತದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅತೀಶ್ಗೆ ಅವನ್ ಶಾಡೋನೆ. ಅತೀಶ್ ಶಾಡೋ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಶಾಡೋ ಈಸ್ ಫಾಲಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಹಿಸ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಜನರಲಿ ಶಾಡೋ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ನಿನಗೆ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು. ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀನ್ ನಾರ್ತ್ ನೋಡ್ತಿರ್ತೀಯ ಅಥವಾ ಸೌತ್ ನೋಡ್ತಿರ್ತೀಯ ಅಂದಾಗ ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ನಾರ್ತ್ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾರ್ತ್ ನೋಡೋರಿಗೆ ಇದು ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ನೀವು ಸೌತ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀರಿ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಇದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ಲಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ಡ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಶಾಡೋ ಇಸ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಆ ಅತೀಶ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಯಾರು, ಭರತ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅತೀಶ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ, ಸಾರಿ ನಾ ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅತೀಶ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಭರತ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅತೀಶ್ ಸೌತ್ ಕಡೆ ನಿಲ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಬಟ್ ನೋಡೋದು ಯಾವ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ನಾರ್ತ್ ಫೇಸಿಂಗ್. ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ಭರತ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ನಿಲ್ಲೋದು ನಾರ್ತ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ನು ನೋಡೋದು ಯಾವ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಸೌತ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಸೌತ್ ಫೇಸಿಂಗ್. ಸೌತ್ ಫೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೌತ್ ನ ನೋಡ್ತಾ, ಅವನ ಮುಖ ಸೌತ್ ಗೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. ಇದನ್ನೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ನಾರ್ತ್ ಫೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ನಾರ್ತ್ ಅನ್ನ ಫೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಲ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಸೊ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಇದು ಬಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಭರತ್, ಇದು ಅತೀಶ್. ಈಗ ಆ ಸನ್ಲೈಟ್ ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಿದ್ದಾಗ ಇವನ್ ಶಾಡೋ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಬೀಳ್ತದೆ. ಅವನು ಸೌತ್ ಫೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಸೌತ್ ಫೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇವನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂಡ ಸನ್ಲೈಟ್ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಬಿದ್ದು ಅವನ್ ಶಾಡೋ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಬೀಳ್ತದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ನು ಯಾವ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ನಾರ್ತ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಸೊ ನಾರ್ತ್ ನೋಡೋನಿಗೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ಲಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್. ಅತೀಶ್ ಶಾಡೋ ಫೆಲ್ ಟು ಹಿಸ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್. ಅವನ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಬಿದ್ದಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಅವನ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಬಿದ್ದಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವನು ಯಾವ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ನಾರ್ತ್ ಫೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ದೆನ್ ಇನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಈಸ್, ಅವನು ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ, ಭರತದ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅತೀಶ್ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಫೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅವನ ಮುಖ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಆಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಿಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋನು ಯಾವ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಸೌತ್ ಫೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೌತ್. ಯಾರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ವೆದರ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಅತೀಶ್ ಆರ್ ಭರತ್, ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದಟ್ ದಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಹೋಪ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ದ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ, it is better that if you are not able to understand it, go back and watch part 1 of directions where I have explained the concept of shadow. ಅವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದೇನಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟ ಇರೋ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇರಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ. ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 11 and post your answer in the comments please. ಇದು ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್. The previous question was based on morning, but this question is based on evening. So evening, the sun will be towards the west direction and the shadow will always be falling in the east direction. But it can be to the left or right, in front, etc. So one evening just before sunset, a woman was walking on road. She noticed that the shadow of a tree, avurdalla, a woman, though a woman is walking, she noticed the shadow of a tree. Shadow of a tree was falling exactly to her left in the evening. In which direction was the woman walking? So woman was walking towards which direction? ಯಾವ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಡೀತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೇನೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು, ಶಾಡೋ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬೀಳ್ತದೆ, ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಬೀಳ್ತದೆ. ಶಾಡೋ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಫಾಲಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಆ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಆ ವುಮೆನ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ವುಮೆನ್ ಒಂದು ಯಾವುದು ಒಂದು ಮರ ಶಾಡೋನ ನೋಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ವುಮೆನ್ ಹರ್ ಶಾಡೋ ಫಾಲಿಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಟು ಹರ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್. ಇದು ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಯಾವ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ಸೌತ್ ಫೇಸಿಂಗ್. ನಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಲ್ತಿರ್ತೀನಿ, ಬಟ್ ನೋಡೋದು ಈ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಸೌತ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ನ ಫೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಲ್ತಿರ್ತೀನಿ. ಆವಾಗ ತಾನೇ ನನಗೆ ಇದು ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಶಾಡೋ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಬೀಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಸೌತ್ ನೋಡ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಯಾವಾಗ, ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ವಾಸ್ ವುಮೆನ್ ವಾಕಿಂಗ್? Straight away we got the answer. She is actually walking towards south. Okay, very good. Most of you are able to answer the question. Now we are moving forward and we will be solving different types of questions. This also I have told you the basic concept yesterday itself. If you are not able to answer this question, then obviously it implies that you have to watch part 1 of directions, where I have explained you what is the relationship between clock problems and directions, the angle between minute and hour hand, and the angles covered by hour hand in 1 hour, the angle covered by minute hand in 1 hour. All these details has been provided to you yesterday itself. Okay, if you watched that video, that is well and good. You can answer it very easily. If you have not watched that video, I request you to please go back and watch part 1. Then you can answer these questions very easily. Okay. Now, I want the answer for question number 12. Please solve it and post your answer in the comment section. Whether it is 3 p.m. or 3 a.m., problem will be the same. Answer also will be the same. But for the sake of mentioning it is whether afternoon, etc., they'll just provide you PM, AM. West anta ಒಬ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So at 3 p.m. Okay, two people have answered that the answer for the question number 12 is west. So can others also confirm? The time is 3 p.m. If the hour hand, they are clearly mentioning, if the hour hand is pointing towards which direction? North. Now you have to find out what will be the direction to which minute hand will be pointing at. Okay, what is the time? 3 p.m. So 12, 3, 6, 9. At 3 p.m., our hand will be exactly pointing towards which number? 3. And the minute hand will be exactly pointing towards which number? 12. So that is 3 p.m., right? So now they have very clearly mentioned our hand is facing north. So you have to imagine that this is north direction. If this is north, then you have to go down to get south. In between here you will be having east and here you will be having west, right? 3. Number 3 is facing north direction. Now they are asking you then this 12 which is over here will be facing which direction? That is the question. You cannot directly answer it, but what you have to do? You have to find out this angle, no? I have very clearly told you the angle between 12 and 3 will be 90, 3 and 6 will be 90, 6 and 9 will be 90, 9 and 12 will be 90. So that's how we get 4 into 90, 360 degrees, which is the angle of a circle or a clock. So now the angle between 12 and 3 is how much? Exactly 90 degrees. From 3 to reach 12, you have to go this way. That is what? Anti-clockwise direction. So I have to rotate 90 degrees anti-clockwise to reach the minute hand or to reach the number 12. So now I am at north. If I reach, normally these are the directions: north, east, west, south, ಇದು northwest, ಇದು southwest, ಇದು southeast, ಇದು northeast, ಅಲ್ವಾ? Now I am at north, that is at number 3. Now to reach number 12, I have to rotate in a reverse direction of the clock, which is also known as anti-clockwise or towards left, and that too for how many degrees? 90-degree angle. So reverse direction means anti-clockwise means this one. Alva, yesterday the first point was what? First point ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದೀನಿ? The angular distance between any two consecutive or adjacent main directions will be 90. So north ಇಂದ ನೀವು anti-clockwise direction ಅಲ್ಲಿ 90 degrees rotate ಆದ್ರೆ next main direction ಆಗಿರೋ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತೀರಿ? West ಗೆ ಬರ್ತೀರಿ. So answer ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? West ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So it's a very simple question, but the thing is you should know the basic concept well. You should not get confused. Okay. Fine. Now can you please answer this one? Question number 13. I'll wait for your comments. Then I will explain the question. So what is the answer for question number 13? At 9 a.m. the minute hand pointing towards the southwest. Then what will be the direction of the hour hand? But not at 9 a.m. They are asking about at 6 p.m. Okay. Read the question properly. Initially, they are talking about 9 a.m. and they are mentioning minute hand is pointing southwest. But they are asking about hour hand direction, but not at 9 a.m. but at 6 p.m. So that's the difference. You should notice and answer accordingly. Okay. I just draw a diagram for my convenience. 9 a.m. ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾನಲ್ಲ, so 12, 3, 6, 9. 9 a.m. ಅಂದಾಗ our hand will be exactly pointing towards 9, whereas the minute hand will be pointing towards 12. MH, HH and HH means hours hand and this is actually minutes hand. Now what they are telling? They have told that the minute hand is actually at southwest direction, means minute hand is at which number? 12. And they are indicating that this is southwest direction. Okay, na? But at 9 a.m. the minute hand will be at which direction? Sorry, which number? 9. But the question is at 6 p.m. means to make it, you can solve it here itself, but to make it more clear, I am drawing another diagram. That's it. Okay, now let us assume that the time is 6 p.m. So where the hour hand will be? Hour hand will be here, no? And minute hand will be exactly at 12. You already know that this direction is what? Southwest. Okay. Now, if you draw the directions diagram, north, south, east, west. Northeast, here comes northwest, then here comes west, and here comes southeast. ಅಲ್ವಾ ನೀವು ಸೌತ್ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ 9 ಆದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಬಟ್ ನೌ at 6 p.m. the hour hand is exactly here, means they are diagonally opposite ಅಲ್ವಾ. diagonally opposite ಅಂದ್ರೆ angle ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ? 180 degrees. So now you are at what? 12 is at southwest, then diagonally opposite number 6 will be at which direction? This is southwest. If you travel diagonally opposite or exactly 180 degrees, you will reach which direction? Northeast. Means if the number, sorry, if the hour hand is at 6, number 6, then that direction is actually which direction? Northeast. Southwest 6 p.m. northeast. Northwest. Option illa, but the correct answer is northeast. Southwest ಅಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದವರು. ಆನ್ಸರ್ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಅಮ್ಮ, ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ದ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್. ಇದು ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾರ್ತ್ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸೌತ್ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ನಾರ್ತ್ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ 9 o'clock ಆದ್ರೆ ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಈಗ 9 o'clock ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ. 9 o'clock ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ನಾರ್ತ್ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಬಟ್ 9 o'clock ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರು, 6 p.m. ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. 6 p.m. ಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಮಿಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. No worries, but you note it down. The right answer for this question is actually northeast. 9 a.m. ಗೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಆವಾಗ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ನಾರ್ತ್ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಕಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ನ ಸರಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆನಾ? Correct someone. I'll correct this option. I'll write it as northeast. Okay, this is the answer. Northeast. Correct answer ಮಾತ್ರ northeast. Yes, last question of I think last but one, type 1. One more question ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Can you please solve it and post your answer in the comments? 7:30, whether it is PM or AM, answer will be the same. So no worries at all. At 7:30, if the minute hand of a clock point towards north, then in which direction the hour hand will be pointing? That is the question. $7:30. So 12, 3, 6, 9. Here will be 7. 7:30. So our hand will be exactly between 6 and 7. Our hand will be exactly between 6 and 7. Means if you divide this 30-degree angle into two parts, 15 degrees will be here, 15 degrees will be here. Because it is 30. 30 minutes means exactly half of 1 hour. Alva? But minute hand will be exactly pointing towards which number? 6. Because at 30 minutes, minute hand will be exactly facing number 6. Alva? So clearly mentioned, minute hand is pointing towards north. Means they are saying that this direction, this 6 is actually at north direction. Then exactly opposite becomes what? South. So in general, towards right of north, you will be having west. And towards left of north, you will be having east. Alva? So in between will be northeast, in between will be southeast, in between will be southwest, in between will be northwest. Now the question is then, in which direction is our hand pointing at the same time? See, our hand is here. It is between north and between east. So in between, what is the direction? Northeast. So answer is option C. Very good. Some of you actually answered the question. Yes. Okay. And one last question of type 1. Type 1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ last question. Solve ಮಾಡಿ answer ಹೇಳಿ. Then we can move forward. Can you please answer question number 15? Yes, I am waiting for your answer for question number 15. Before continuing, I want you to answer the question and then I'll solve it. So, a person walking from point A towards north. We don't know exactly where point A is, so I'm assuming the point A to be here, and I have to go towards north. And then what is the sentence given? After walking for 8 kilometers means I have started from A, alva. So I have started from A and I am moving towards north, and I have gone for how many kilometers? 8 kilometers. After walking for 8 kilometers, he reaches point B. Then from A, after walking for 8 kilometers, we got a point which is known as point B. From point B, he turns towards east. Means the point in the right ಗೆ turn ಆಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ. East ಅಂದ್ರೆ right ಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲ. So and walked for how much? 6 kilometers. So ಇದು 6 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. So B ಇಂದ right ಗೆ turn ಆಗ 6 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ to reach point C. Here comes point C actually. Then now the question is, what is the shortest distance between point A and point C? Point A is actually here and point C is actually here. They are asking you shortest distance andre yavaglu idu irtade. So if you look at the diagram, to avoid unnecessary confusion, I am writing it like this. Diagram is like this, alva. So B, C and A. So to calculate the shortest distance, what you have to do is you have to form a right angle triangle. ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಇದು 90 degrees ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದನ್ನ right angle triangle ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Here comes the theta. Here comes theta actually. So this is called opposite side. ಇದೇನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? Opposite side to this angle. ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಇದು ಪಕ್ಕಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಇದನ್ನ adjacent side ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? Adjacent side. And you know, this is the longest side of a right angle triangle, which is actually called as what? Hypotenuse. Longest side of a right angle triangle is called as hypotenuse. And you would have actually learned this Pythagorean theorem. ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲೇ ಕಲ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಿ, 7th 8th ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಬರ್ತದೆ. Pythagoras theorem ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ? It talks about the right angle triangle. It says that hypotenuse whole square. If you square the hypotenuse, that will be exactly is equal to sum of opposite side whole square plus adjacent side whole square. You already know that this value is 8 kilometers and this value is 6 kilometers. Alva, idu 6 idu 8 ಅನ್ನೋ ವಿಷಯ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ the value of adjacent side is 8 and the value of opposite side is 6. Substitute it. 6 whole square plus 8 whole square. 6 square ಎಷ್ಟಮ್ಮ? 36. 8 square ಎಷ್ಟು? 64. ಎರಡು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗ್ತದೆ? 100 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ hypotenuse whole square. Hypotenuse whole square is equal to 100, but I want the value of hypotenuse. So ಅವಾಗ ಈ whole square ಆಚೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Square root ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Under root of 100 ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 10 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So what is the shortest distance? 10 kilometers. ಆ shortest distance ನೇ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? Hypotenuse ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So whenever in directions chapter they ask you about they are ask you to calculate the shortest distance, means they are asking you about the Pythagoras theorem application in the chapter of directions. What does Pythagoras theorem state? The square of hypotenuse or the longest side of the right angle triangle will be equal to sum of the square of opposite side and sum of the square of adjacent side. If you solve this problem, then you will get a value and that would be your answer. So answer is option A, 10 kilometers. Okay. That's it. We have completed type 1. Now we are moving into type 2. So generally, most of the times, banking exams, by SBI, IBPS, banking and insurance exams ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ type 1 very rare. Normally ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. Majority of the times, the questions will be based on type 2. But for SSC kind of exams, type 1 are important. Type 1 questions are important for SSC, UPSC, CSAT, etc. State Public Service Commission. But in banking and insurance exams, majority of the times, means out of 100 times, 99 times you will have type 2 questions only, and in get 1 or 2 questions based on directions. But in banking exam you will get a minimum of 2 and maximum of 5 questions at times. Okay, ಇದು prelims ಅಲ್ಲಿ, mains ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ same 2 to 5 questions ಬರೋ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ. But here the questions will be of higher difficulty level, and here the questions will be easy in terms of prelims. Okay na? Same, everything remains the same, but they will give you a paragraph instead of one single question. They will give you a paragraph, maybe more number of letters, 5, 7, 10, etc., and they will ask you 2 to 3 questions based on the same information. Based on this particular information, they might ask 2 questions or 3 questions. At times they may ask even 4 or 5 questions as well. Here, in this particular scenario, they are asking you 2 questions, 16th and 17th. 2 questions are based on this particular information. First, you draw a diagram based on this information, then we can answer the questions. So, I am going to draw the diagram now. We will answer it. Yeah, so, point A is 5 meters west of point B. So, I am assuming point B to be here. Towards west of point B, I have a point A. And what is the distance? 5 meters. Then point C is 2 meters to the north of which point? B. So from B, if I go towards north, and that too for how many meters? 2 meters. Here I'll get another point which is actually point C. Okay now. Then point D is 3 meters towards east of point C. So from point C I have to go towards east for how many meters? 3 meters. Here comes what? Point D. Then point E. Point E is again 2 meters towards which direction? South. From which point? D. So from point, this is actually 2, and here also they have mentioned it as 2 only. So from D, if you come 2 meters towards the south, then you will have point E. Point E is here. As this is 2 and this is also 2. ಇದು ಎರಡು 2 meters ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಲೈನ್, ಒಂದೇ ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಎ, ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬಿ, ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಇದು 5 meters ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 3 meters. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಕೂಡ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 3 meters ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಲುಕ್ ಎಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್, ಸಿ ಬಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು? 2. ಇದೆಷ್ಟು? 2. ಈ ಕಡೆ ಎಷ್ಟು? 3. ಈ ಕಡೆ ಎಷ್ಟು? 3. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೊಂದು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಈ ತರ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇದು 3, ಇದು 3, ಈ ಕಡೆ 2, ಈ ಕಡೆ 2. ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಇದನ್ನ? ರೆಕ್ಟಾಂಗಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ತಾನೆ? ಸೊ ರೆಕ್ಟಾಂಗಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬೀನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಡ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್. breadth and breadth is equal, length and length is equal. ಅದೇ ಎಲ್ಲಾ sides equal ಇದ್ರೆ 3, 3, 3, 3 ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ square ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. But when opposite sides are equal, we call it as a rectangle. So here point C, point D, point B and point E together formed a rectangle. Okay, now this is the diagram. We got the diagram already, right? Now what we have to do? We have to answer the questions. The questions will be given here. Now the question is, if a person walks how many meters? 2 meters ante. Which direction? In the north. From which point? From A. So let's look at the diagram first. Point A is here, and I have to go towards north, and that too for how many meters? 2 meters. Okay, then, and I have to take what? Right turn. From after traveling for 2 meters from A towards north, I have to take a right turn and continue to walk. Which of the following points would I reach first? ನಾನು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಬರೋ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ. 2 meters ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಹೋಗಿದ್ವಿ. ಇದೆಷ್ಟಮ್ಮ? 2. ಇದೆಷ್ಟು? 2. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದೇ ಲೈನಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. ನಾವು ಈ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿರೋ, ನಾನು ರೈಟ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಈಚೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಈಚೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಬರೋ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಸಿ ತಾನೆ? ಸೊ ಆನ್ಸರ್ is option D. That is the first point that I reach while walking will be point C. Yes. Now we will be solving another question. It was there, no? So which of the following points are in a straight line? I already showed you 3 points were in straight line, na? 3 ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಒಂದೇ ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? A, B, E. All of them are in a straight line. So answer is A, B, E. A, B, E is the straight line. So answer is option A. So got it. ನೀವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಾನು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಬರೆದ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಈಸಿನೇ. So hope you understood. Can you please confirm in the comments whether you actually understood question number 16 and 17? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ನ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಬರಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ರಿಪೀಟ್ಸ್, ಬಟ್ the questions are slightly different, that's it. So can you please confirm in the comments, were you able to understand question 16 and 17? Okay, very good. Understood, right? Now you will be solving the next puzzle. It's a kind of puzzle. 18 to 22 means you have 5 questions here, and it is slightly on a tougher side. I won't do it by myself. I will wait for you to solve the question and write down the diagram, and then I will solve it. Okay? 18 to 22 means you have 5 questions. 5 questions based on one single information. You have to first solve this entire information, draw a proper diagram according to the distances mentioned. Don't get confused. And then we will try to solve the questions based on the given information. So, Sumit started walking in east direction. After walking 15 minutes, he reached point B. From there, he takes a left turn, walks 10 meters to reach point C. From C, he turns left and walks 7 meters, reaches point D. Okay, Sumit walking in east direction from point A. Walked for 15 meters. East to go back. So I'll take point A to be here. I have to go east. Walking 15 meters, reach point B. So east ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಂತೆ? Highest 28 ಇದೆ. So 15 meters ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ನಾನು. I slightly rub this because ಸರಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. Okay. Now he walked 15 meters and he reached point B. Here comes actually point B. Okay, na? Fine. Then that means from point B he takes a left turn. As he is actually moving towards east, if he takes a left turn, he have to move upwards, means towards north. So he takes a left turn and walked for 10 meters to reach point C. So he has to take a left turn and he has to move for how much? 10 meters, and then comes point C. Point C is here. From C he turns left and walks for 7. So as we are going this way, turns left means I have to go towards west and walks for 7 only. Here how much? It is 15. So 7 means it has to be less than, alva. So this is 7. Walks 7 meters left, okay, and reaches point D. Here comes actually point D. He turned left. He is moving this way. So 7 meters height. Reached point D. Then he turns left again and walks for 34 meters. So if he turns left, he has to come this way towards south. 34 meters. Already this is how much? 10. So to get 34, I have to add another 24 meters. Alva? I have to add another 24 meters. And what? He reaches point E. He reached point E here. Though this total distance, this is actually 10. This portion, as this is 10, this also must be 10. But they have clearly mentioned to reach point E, he has to go for 34 meters. As already I have completed 10, up to this point, I have to go for another, how he turns right. He is turning right and walking for another 28 meters actually. See, he is actually going this way. If he turns right, he has to move towards which direction? Move towards west, and walked for how much? 28 meters. So he has gone in this direction towards west for 28 meters. Okay. Now he reached point F. Here comes point F. Here is point F. Fine. Point F, and from there means from point F he turns right. See, he is going this way. If he turns right, he has to move upwards, means towards north. He turns right and walks for 40. If you clearly observe, you already know that this is 10 and total distance between D and E is how much? 34. But this time he is turning up, means he is actually traveling towards north and he is going 40. Till this point, means if you draw a straight line here, till this point it becomes 34, but I have to go 40, means I have to go beyond. From this point, which is a straight line for here, it will be 34. Up to this point it will be 34, but they have clearly mentioned I have to go for 40. No, means I have to extend my distance by how much? 6 meters. Alva? And there he reaches point G. Here comes point G. So hope you understood. This is 6 and this remaining portion is 34. That's how the total becomes 40. And finally, after reaching point G, from point G he again turned right and walked for how much? 32 meters to reach point H. See, now I am here at point G. If I turn right, I have to go this way, means again towards east only, and I have to go for how much? 32 meters. If you carefully observe, this distance between F and E is how much? 28. And this distance is how much? 7. 28 plus 7, if I consider total distance, it becomes 35. But it has very clearly mentioned that he has gone only for 32, not 35. Means he should not reach this point, he should be somewhere here. Okay, na? So he is going this way and he is stopping here. And there comes point H. I will use another color so that you will not get confused. This distance is 32. Means here point G is there, no? From G, this is actually 6, this portion. From G has travelled for 32 meters to reach point H. But I already explained you this 28 and 7. This is 28. Hence, this portion is also 28. But from here, D to C, the distance is how much? 7. If I add this 28 and this 7 to reach here, it becomes 35. But I don't want 35. I want to go only for how much? 32 meters, no? So that is why I stopped here. I stopped here and I am saying that this is H. If I have reached this point, it should have been 35, but I stopped here, this is 32. Means this gap, the gap that is there between this point and this point will be how much? 3 meters. 35 minus 32 will be 3 meters. Drawing the diagram is the most important thing. Okay. So if you want, I'll just rub this and I will draw another diagram to make it more clear. But this is how you have to draw the diagram. So first provide me the confirmation that yes, I have understood how you have drawn the diagram. ನಾನು ಈ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಥವಾ ಏನೇನು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಕಡೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆ 3 ಅಂತ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಆ 3 ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 6 ಅಂತ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಆ 6 ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಹೇಳಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಇದು ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ 7 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ 7 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಈ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಎ ಇಂದ ಬಿ ತನ 15. ಸೊ ಈ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ 7 ಆದ್ರೆ ಈ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ 8 ಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಲೇಬೇಕಾ. ಇದು 8 ಇದು 7 ಟೋಟಲ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ 15. ಸೊ ಈ ತರ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಹಾಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಇದು ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ 7 ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ 3 ಅಂತ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ 3 ಅಂತ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯು ಡ್ರಾನ್ ದ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್? ನೀವು ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್? Okay. So understood ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. That is okay, fine. If you understood, so that's the purpose, alva? Okay, fine. Then if everybody understood, then I need not go for once again. So I'll try to solve the questions. You draw the diagram neatly, okay, so that you will not get confused. The question over here is, what is the direction? What is the direction of which point G from which point A? So with respect to A, G is in which direction? See, A is actually here and G is over here. ಅಲ್ವಾ? A, G ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ. A ಇಂದ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನಾರ್ತ್, ಈ ಕಡೆ ಈಸ್ಟ್, ಈ ಕಡೆ ವೆಸ್ಟ್, ಈ ಕಡೆ ಸೌತ್. ಸೊ ಎ ಜಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ನಾರ್ತ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜಿ ಇಸ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ನಾರ್ತ್ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಲ್ವಾ? ಜಿ ಇಸ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ನಾರ್ತ್ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Fine. Now we are moving on to question number 19. If point J is the point of intersection. Intersection ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿ? ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. Points intersection of the points A, B, D and E, then which of the following is or true about J ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ. See, clearly understand the question. If point J is the point of intersection of the points A, B, D, E. So first of all, go back to the diagram. Where is B, where is D and where is E? See, if you look at the diagram, D is here, A is here, E is here and B is here. I have to draw it to make you more clear, otherwise you might get confused. Okay, now I am drawing the diagram here. So A is here actually and B is here. What is the distance? 15. The total distance is 15. But intersect ಆಗೋ ಕಡೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ 7 ಆಗಿ ಈ ಕಡೆ 8 ಆಗಿ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಈ ಇಂಟರ್ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನೇ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ? J ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, ದಟ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ J. Where is D? Here it is, D. And where is E? Here is E. D and E are also in straight line. D and E are in straight line. And what is the distance between D and E? 24 plus 10, 34 meters. ಇದು 10 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ 24 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ, 24 and 10 ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸಿದೀವಿ. So total distance between D and E is 34 meters, right? Now we will just look at the question. Which of the following is true ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ. Point H is to the north of J ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಕಾರ J ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ನಾನು J ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಇಂಟರ್ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಮಿಡಲ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, ಅದನ್ನ J ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ H ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಲುಕ್ ಎಟ್ ದ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ J. ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇಂದ H ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದ್ದಾರಾ? ನೋ. If J is here, then H will be somewhere over here, not exactly immediately above J. So it is actually ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ನಾರ್ತ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಈಸ್ಟ್, ನಾರ್ತ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅವನ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ ನೋಡಿ, ನಾರ್ತ್ ಆಫ್ J ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾನೆ. ಸೊ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ರಾಂಗ್, ಪೊಟೆನ್ಶಿಯಲಿ ರಾಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ JE plus JD is equal to GF minus 6 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ. JE plus JD is equal to GF minus 6. J is here ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. JE ಎಷ್ಟು? 24 meters. JE plus JD ಅಂದ್ರೆ 24 meters. JD ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 10 ಅಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇದು D, ಇದು E, ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ J. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ 34. ಅದನ್ನೇ ಎರಡು ಭಾಗವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದಾನೆ, 24 plus 10 ಅಂತ. ಸೊ 34 is equal to GF minus 6 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ GF ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನು? You know that G is here and where is F? F is here. You already know that GF ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 40. ಅವನೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ. ಸೊ ನಮಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ 34. ಆ 40 minus 6 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. 40 minus 6 ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 34 ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? JE plus JD is equal to GF minus 6. ಅದು ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಸೊ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಿ. ಸಿ ಯಾಕೆ ತಪ್ಪು ಅಂತ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ತಪ್ಪು ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಡಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರೋದು, ಮೇಲೆಯಿಂದ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಸೌತ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಜೆ ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲೋ ಇದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡಿ ಇಂದ ನೋಡುವಾಗ ಜೆ ಸೌತ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅವನ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ? ಜೆ ಇಸ್ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾನೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಕೂಡ ತಪ್ಪೆ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ರಾಂಗ್, ಬಟ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಇವೆರಡು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 24 plus 10 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಜಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಫ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅವರೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ 40 ಅಂತ. -6 ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 34 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 24 plus 10 ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ 34 is equal to 34. So that is why option B is right answer. Okay. Next, question number 20. What is the total distance traveled by Sumit in west direction? West ಕಡೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನೋಡಿ ಹೇಳಿ. ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು? ಈ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡಿ ಇದು ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ 28. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾನೆ. ಸುಮಿತ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ವಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅದು ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅಷ್ಟೇ 28 ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಉಳಿದಿದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಅವನು ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗಿ ರೈಟ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ 28, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗಿವೆನ್. ನಾವೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಮಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಎ ಇಂದ ಬಿ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. 28. ಎನಿಬಡಿ ವಿತ್ ದಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್? ಈ 28 ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದ, ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮತ್ತೆ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇದೆನಾ? ಈ 32, 30 ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ, ನಾರ್ತ್. 28 ಅಷ್ಟೇ. 35 7 ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? ಸಿ ಇಂದ ಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನ? ಎಸ್, ಸಿ ಇಂದ ಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನಲ್ಲ. ಸಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಸಿ ಹಿ ಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಾಕ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಡಿ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಕೂಡ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಯಾರೋ ಮಾರ್ಕ್, ಬಟ್ ನನಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಾಗ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಈ 7 ಕೂಡ ಸಿ ಇಂದ ಡಿಗೆ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಇ ಇಂದ ಎಫ್ ಗೆ 28, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸಿ ಇದು ಇ ಇಂದ ಎಫ್ ಗೆ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಸಿ ಇಂದ ಡಿ ಗೆ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಕೂಡ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್, ಅದು 7. ಸೊ 28 plus 7 will become 35 meters actually. That is the right answer. So 35 meters is the correct answer, which is at option A. Then what is the direction of point C with respect to point H? ಅಂದ್ರೆ H ಇಂದ ನೋಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ C ಯಾವ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್. You already know point H is here, and where is C? C is here. So if you exactly draw it, H will be here and slightly C will be here. So definitely it is not south, no? This is east and this is south. So it is in between. So when you look at from H, C is exactly between south and east. Hence the answer becomes what? Southeast. So answer ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Southeast ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. One last question. What is the shortest distance between point A and point H? Between point A and point H, what is the shortest distance? Where is H? Again here, it is here. So point H is here. Where is point A? Point A is here. Now you have to have a proper diagram, otherwise we cannot answer it. So I have to redraw the diagram. Redraw means not the entire diagram. Whatever is required, I'll draw that portion only. I'll change the color to make you not get confused. So they're asking you what is the shortest distance between H and A. So that is the question. I'll draw only what is required, that much. So A, here comes the imaginary point J. J is here, no? Intersection point. I already told total distance between A and B is 15, but this portion becomes 8 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಅದು ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ 10 ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಕೆಳಗಡೆ 24 ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಿ. ಸೊ 10 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತನ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ತಗೋತೀನಿ, 10 meters. ಈ ಕಡೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ 10 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ H ಇಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, H ಇನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ H. ಸೊ H is somewhere here. ಸೊ ಇದು 10 ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು, ಇದೆಷ್ಟು 8 ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು. ಬಟ್ H ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಇದು 8 ಅಂತ ತಗೋಬಹುದು. ಬಟ್ H ಇನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ನಾ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ. ಟೋಟಲ್ 7 ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ನಮಗೆ 35 ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, 32 ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬೇಕು, ಆ 3 ಮೀಟರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಟೋಟಲ್ 7 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಕಡೆ 3 ಉಳಿದಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ದೂರ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು? ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ 4 ಹೋಗಿರ್ತೀನಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ತನ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ 8 ಅಷ್ಟೇ ತಗೋಬೇಕು. ಬಟ್ ನಾನು ಇನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಿನಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಮೀಟರ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 4. ಸೊ ಈ ಕಡೆ 8, ಈ ಕಡೆ 4. ಈ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇದು ಲೈನ್, ಇದು 4 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು 12 ಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 12. ಈ ಕಡೆ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 10. ಇದು 12, ಇದು 10. ಶಾರ್ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಿ, ರೈಟ್ ಆಂಗಲ್ ಟ್ರಯಾಂಗಲ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಹೈಪೋಟೆನಸ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಹೈಪೋಟೆನಸ್ ಹೋಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು opposite side whole square means 12 whole square plus adjacent side whole square 10. 12 square is 144 and 10 square is 100. So answer ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 244 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ. 16, 15, 481, 25, 20 ಹಂಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅಂಡರ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 244. 16, 15, root of 481. ಯಾವುದು ನಾನು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿನಿ. Between A and H. 10, 24. So that is 10. ಓ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಈ ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದು 6 ತಗೋಬೇಕು. 10 ಅಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ 10. ಈ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್, ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ತನ ಆದ್ರೆ 10. ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ವಿ, ಈ 6 ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಮೇಲೆ ಜಿ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ಈ 6 ಮೀಟರ್ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ 10 ಅಲ್ಲ 16 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 10 ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಎಷ್ಟಾಗತ್ತೆ? 16 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ 144, ಇದು 256 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹೋಪ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಡೂ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು 16 ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 12 ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 16 ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ 256, 12 ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ 144. ಎರಡು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ 400 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅದೇನು ಹೈಪೋಟೆನಸ್ ಹೋಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್. ಬಟ್ ನನಗೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೈಪೋಟೆನಸ್ ಬೇಕು. ಹೈಪೋಟೆನಸ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ರೂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 400 ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಕಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ 20 ಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಡಿ, 20 ಮೀಟರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನಾನು ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲೇ ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ಬರೀಬೇಕು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಐ ಆಸ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಯು ಟು ಡ್ರಾ ದ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನೀಟ್ಲಿ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ನನಗೆ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಕಂಜೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಬರೆದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ಏನ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ ಅದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ 6 ಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಅದು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ತಗೊಂಡು 10 ಅಂತ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಬಟ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ಆ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸನೇ 6 ಮೀಟರ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ slightly tougher side questions for prelims. So I want to confirm, I want to know whether you understood that question from 18 to 22. Are you comfortable and have you understood all the questions? ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು, ಬಟ್ ಕೆಲವು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಈ ತರ ಟಿಪಿಕಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ವೆದರ್ were you able to understand question number 18 to question number 22. Yes, I am waiting for your confirmation before proceeding further. ಸೊ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಕಂಜೆಷನ್ ಇಂದ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡ್ರಾ ದ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನೀಟ್ಲಿ ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅನ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ. ಓಕೆ, okay, can you solve these three questions? There are three questions, 23, 24 and 25. So based on this information we are going to solve three questions, but I request you to draw the diagram at first place. So read out all the given information, form a proper neatly drawn diagram so that you will not get confused. Draw the diagram according to the distance 14, 9, 7. So you have to be good enough in measuring the distance, so that otherwise you might get confused while answering the questions. And then I'll show you the questions so you can answer them. So I'm taking point A here, point D, ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಡಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಡಿ is 14 meters west of point A. So west of point A means I have to go this way, and that to how much? 14 meters. Here comes point D. Then from point B is 4 meters south of point D. So from D, if I come down, that is towards south, just at a distance of 4 meters, I have another point which is point B. Then point F is 9 meters south of point D. See, point D is here towards south, but just at a 4 meter distance you have B. And again they are telling one more point. Point F is also towards south of D, but this time it's 9 meters. So I have to extend this line by another 5, and I have to write F here. So this is 4 and this is 5. If you add both of them, obviously total distance becomes what? 9. So now the point satisfies. So from D towards south at a distance of 9 meters, which point is there? Point F. But you have to remember this one. You should be able to identify that is 4 and this is 5, and together it becomes 9. Okay. Now point E is 7 meters east of point B. Where is B? Here. And you have to go 7 meters east. This is actually how much? 14. So I have to be in the middle, exactly middle, 7 and 7, 2 halves. So from B, if I travel 7 meters, exactly how much? 7 meters, I will reach another point which is known as point E. Point E. So this is a middle point. So 14 has been divided into 7 and 7. And point C is 4 meters towards north of point E. See, you know this is already 4. From E, if I go towards north, I will remove this. Here comes, this is the point. I am just marking it as a point, and that point is what? E. And you already know that this total distance is how much? 14, which has been divided into 7 and 7. And this is the point. This is the point which I have marked with a black colored dot, which is that point, point E. Then point G is again 4 meters, but towards which point? Towards which direction? South. From which point? A. So from A, if I move southwards, and that too for how many meters? 4 meters, I will reach another point which is G. See, this is 4. This is also 4, and this is also 4. What does it mean? Point B, point E, and point G. All three of them are in a straight line. Adu meaning. ಈ ಬಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇ ಮತ್ತೆ ಜಿ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಾವೆ ಅಂತ. ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ 7 ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಕೂಡ 7 ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಇದು ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ 7 ಇದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 7 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ 4, ಈ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ 4, ಈ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ 4. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಾವೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಏನು? ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಡಿ, ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇ, ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಎ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದಾವೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಅಲ್ವಾ? That's it. That is the diagram. And remember, this is actually 5. Now we are going to answer the question. Which of the following points are in a straight line? We already know there are two sets actually. One is BEG ಅಥವಾ DEA. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಾನ? DEA ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ. So this is the appropriate or right answer for the given question. You can check the answer is the other 4 options which will be wrong. Then question number 24. A is in which direction from C? When you look at from point C, what will be the direction of A? So I will change the color. Where is A? Actually A is here. So I have to look from which point? Point C. Where is point C? F, B, D, E, A, B, E, G. Where is C? I have not written C. I have missed that point actually. Point C is 4 meters towards north of point E. Oh, okay. While writing, I have made a mistake actually. This is C, not E. Okay. So I have to tell which point. Point A is in which direction from C. So this is actually C. I have made a mistake earlier. Already E is here. So I have written E over there, but that is actually C. So C is here. From C, what is the direction of A? This goes which direction? East, na? So answer ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? East ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Question number 25. if a person walks how many meters? 5 meters towards which direction? North. From which point? F. And then takes a right turn. Which of the following points would he reach first? So from point F, he has to go north. Okay, and for how many meters? 5 meters, and then he has to take a right turn. So from point F, I already told you this is 5. So if he go towards north, he will reach B, but that is not our answer. After going 5 meters, he will reach B. Now I have to turn right. After turning right, which is my first point? Point E. Point E is my first point after turning right. So answer is option 3. Athwa letter E. Okay. So have you understood this question, which we have solved? 3 questions were solved. But have you understood the diagram and the method that I have used to solve all the questions? They are very easy. ನಾನು ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ಕೇಳೋದೇನಿರಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಬಟ್ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗದೆ ಇರೋ ತರ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಹಾಕೋಬೇಕಷ್ಟೆ. Now, so please solve these 3 questions again. You have been given 3 questions, and according to this information, you can solve all those 3 questions. First, draw a diagram with respect to this information. Point M is 15 meters to the east of point L. Point C is 3 meters north of point M. Point Q is 6 meters to the east of point C. Likewise. So please form a diagram. Draw the diagram with respect to the given information and post your answers. Okay. 23:4. Okay. ಸಿ ನಾನು ಮುಂಚೆ ಅಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಾಂಗ್ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೆ. ಅದರ ಬೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಎ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ರಾಂಗ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಸಿ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಇರೋ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಇರೋ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಿ ಇ ಜಿ, ಈ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಇರೋ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಡಿ ಸಿ. ಈ ಸಿ ನ ಮುಂಚೆ ಇ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೆ, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ರಾಂಗ್. ಡಿ ಸಿ ಎ ಇವು ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಇರೋ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್. ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಈ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಈ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಬಟ್ ನಾನು ಮುಂಚೆ ಇನ ಸೊ ಸಿ ನ ಇ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ 1 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲಿ ರಾಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ನೀವು ಈ ಲೆಟರ್ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಹುಡುಕ್ಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಈ ಲೆಟರ್ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಹುಡುಕ್ಬೇಕು. ಡಿ ಸಿ ಎ ಇದೆನಾ ನೋಡಿ, ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಬಿ ಇ ಜಿ ಇದೆ, ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇ ಜಿ ಬಿ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ 3 ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ 4 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Yes, now you draw the diagram for this particular given information, and then we will be solving 3 questions based on it. I'll write it. So point M is 15 meters east of point L. So I'm taking L here, and I have to go 15 meters. So I'm taking L here. If I go east, and that too for how many meters? 15 meters. There I'll reach a point M. Okay, now point C is 3 meters north of point M. If I go 3 meters towards north of point M, then I have a point C. Then point Q is 6 meters east of point C. So from C again I have to move east. How much? 6 meters, and then I'll get Q. Then point P is 3 meters south of point Q. So this is 3. So if you draw another line of 3, then these 2 points will be in straight line. These points, which is that point, point P. Point P is 3 kilometers south of, 3 meters south of point Q. Then we have to go for point V. Point V is to the north of point L. So north means I have to go this direction, alva. But what is the distance? P point V is north of point L. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹೇಳಿದಾನೆ. But they have not told you the exact distance, so I am not going to draw the line right away. Now read the next point. A person walks 9 meters from point V towards south, reaches point R, takes a left turn to reach point C. Where is C? C is here. Now you just leave this point. Okay, point V is to the north of point L. ಅದನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ತಗೋತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, a person walks 9 meters from point V towards south. Let us assume that V is somewhere over there. Okay, V is somewhere here. I have to walk 9 meters towards south. Okay, now reaches point R. Here comes point R, and from there I have to take a left turn. When I am walking in south direction, if I take a left turn, I'll be moving towards east. Alva takes a left turn, and then I will reach which point? I know already C is here. Alva. So ikkade R ಅನ್ನೋ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. R ಇಂದ ನಾನು ಈ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದ್ರೆ C ಗೆ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗ್ತೀನಂತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ. Andre I have to be here, no? So R definitely has to be here. So I have to go for 15 meters in east direction to reach point C. So V will be here, and I have to travel south to reach R for how many meters? 9 meters. This is how much? 3. If that is 3, this is also how much? 3. So 3 plus 9. Total distance between V and L will be how many meters? 12 meters. Got it? That is how you have to think. Okay, because they have clearly mentioned that V is north of L. V is north of L means both V and L are in straight line. ಆವಾಗ ತಾನೇ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ಅಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಆರ್ ನ ಕೂಡ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. But they have clearly mentioned once you reach point R after traveling 9 meters south, you have to take a left turn. Means you have to move towards east and you reach point C. As I already know that point C is here, and I am moving this way to reach C, definitely R has to be here only, and that too in a straight line. This is 9. As this value is equal to 3, then this value also must be 3. So 9 plus 3, total distance between L and V will be 12 meters. So this is how we draw the diagram. Now we got the entire diagram. If you want a clearer diagram, I will just rewrite the letters alone in red color, or I'll just mark it. V here, R is here, okay, R, and L is here. This is 3 meters. You already know that. This is 9 meters, and the total distance is 12. If I reach this 15 meters, this is 15, and that is also 15. I'll reach a point which is known as C. C is here, and point M is here. This is 3, and this is also 3. Point Q is here. If this is 6, then this also must be 6, alva, and point P is here. With this information in the diagram, now we will go to answer the questions. In which direction is point V with respect to point P? From P, what is the direction of V? P is actually here. V is over here. So if you just look at the diagram, P is here. This is north, south, west and east. But V is somewhere here, no? Means V is located over here. From P, V is in this direction. So it is between west and north. So what would be the answer? Probable answer is obviously northwest. So answer is option 4. Next, if a person walks 15 meters towards east, from which point? V, and then takes a right turn. You have to take a right turn and walk for another how many? 4 meters. How far will he be from point M? That is the question. First of all, you have to move 15 meters east from point V and then take a right turn and move for 4 meters again. See, you already know that V is here. Now they are telling me that I have to go east direction for 15 meters. You know this is 15. So if I move for 15 meters and then take a right turn, I will be moving in this direction. Means I have to cross point C, etc. And I have gone for how many meters? 4 meters. If you look at this point, the distance is how much? 9. Means from this point, point C is at a distance of 9 meters, but they have asked me to go for only for 4. Means to reach point C, I have to travel 9, but I have traveled only 4 and I have stopped. So let us suppose that this is my stopping point and this is point C. This gap has to be 9 minus 4, 5 meters, alva. And this is another 3 meters. So 5 plus 3. Distance between M and the point where I have stopped is, this is 3 meters plus the gap of 5. 5 plus 3 becomes how much? Overall, the distance will be 8 meters. Okay, na? 8 meters ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So please confirm whether you understood question number 27. ನೀವು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಬರೆದಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. But I want a confirmation from you people whether you really understood question number 27 or not. Please mention in the comments. 9 ಅಲ್ಲ 8. The gap is 9. They have very clearly mentioned I have to, after turning right, I have to go for 4. Out of 9, if 4 is gone, I will be left with 5. And from C to reach M, the distance is 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. So can you please mention in the comments whether you understood, ಒಬ್ಬರಷ್ಟೇ understood ಅಂತ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So what about others? Do you have any sort of a confusion, or have you understood or not? See, if you are facing any sort of confusion, I am trying to explain it here. You know that V and R is there. This distance is actually 9. And there is a point C which is exactly in straight line to R. And below C there is another point M. This distance is actually 3. Now they are asking me, and you already know that the distance between R and C is how much? 15. From point B I have to travel east, and that too for 15. So this is 15, and if I travel for 15, I will be exactly above C. Means first of all I will reach C and then I will go to M. But after traveling for 15 and after taking a right turn, they asked me to travel for 4 meters and stop. So I have stopped somewhere here. This is the stopping point. You already know the total distance is how much? 9. But I have traveled only for 4. So still to reach point C, I have to go for how much? 5 meters ಹೋಗ್ಲೇಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಸಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ 5 meters ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಸಿ ಇಂದ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಂ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು 3 meters. ಸೊ ಈ 5 ಈ 3 ಟೋಟಲ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ 8 meters ನಾನು ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗಷ್ಟೇ ನನಗೆ ಎಂ ಅನ್ನೋ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? So that is what they have asked. So answer is 8 meters. I think now you would easily understand it. So now what is the difference? Difference in the distance between which points? Points V and L, R and Q. So first of all calculate the distance between V and L, and then calculate the distance between R and Q. Then you find the difference. So between V and L, let's see it. As per the diagram, where is V and where is L? Here is L. ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ನಾನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಅದು ತೆಗೆದು ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಅದು ನಾನು ಒಂದ್ ವೇಳೆ ಅದು ರಬ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ವಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ನಾ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಇದು 9 ಇದೆ, ಈ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ 3 ಇದೆ, ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ವಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಲ್ ಇಸ್ 12 ಅಂತ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಸುಮಾರು ಸಲ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಜನರಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ 12 meters ಇದೆ, ವಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಲ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಆರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯೂ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದಾನೆ. ವೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಆರ್? ಆರ್ ಇಸ್ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ನೋ? ಅಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯೂ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಆರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು? 15. ಹಾಗೆ ಸಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯೂ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು? 6. ಸೊ ಆರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸಿ ಇಂದ 15, ಸಿ ಟು ಕ್ಯೂ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 6. ಟೋಟಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 12. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್, ಸಾರಿ 21. ಆರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯೂ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ 21, ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನಾಯ್ತು? 12. ಸೊ ವಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ 12, whereas the distance between R and Q is 21. So ಈ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ. 21, 12 ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 9 meters ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, which is at option 2. Okay. Yes, that's it. Last 2 questions. I think you can solve it. We can conclude the session after finishing these 2 questions. So solve these 2 questions. Very similar. Already ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಸುಮಾರು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಪಟ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಬೇಗ ಬೇಗ ಮಾಡಿ ಮುಗಿಸೋಣ. I'm sorry. So ನಾಳೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ the class timing will be slightly different from today, probably 6:30 to 7:30 likewise. ಆಮೇಲೆ as already said, I'll be traveling for the next 4 to 5 days. You will be having classes. I'll be premiering the classes. I won't be live, but you will be seeing the video live from same timings ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಟೈಮಿಂಗ್ ನಾನು ಹಾಕ್ತೀನಿ, ಲಿಂಕ್ ಕೂಡ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ನಾನಿದ್ದಾಗ ಹೇಗೆ ನೀವು ರಿಪ್ಲೈ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀರಿ, ನಾನು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೇನೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕಾಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ವೆದರ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್. ಸೇಮ್ ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತೀನಿ, ನೀವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಪ್ಲೈ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ನೀವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ನ. ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಸೊ ದ ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಪ್ರೀಮಿಯರ್ಡ್ ಅಂಟಿಲ್ ಐ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಟು ಮೈ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಲೊಕೇಶನ್. ತೀರಾ ನನಗೆ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಹಾಕೋದು ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Point J is 20 meters north of point G. Point G is 10 meters west of point K. G ಅನ್ನೋದು ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಇದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ? K ಇಂದ. ಸೊ K ಇಂದ 10 ಮೀಟರ್ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ G ಇದೆ. Point K is 15 meters south of point L. So this is 20, but I need only 15. So L will be somewhere here. Because I need only 15, no? So I have shortened the line. So point L ಇಂದ southಗೆ 15 meters direction ಅಲ್ಲಿ K ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. Ashish is standing at point T, which is 30 meters east of point L. East ಈ ಕಡೆ point L ಇಂದ 30 meters ಆಯ್ತಾ. 30 meters ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ T ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಕಡೆ ಯಾರು ನಿಲ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಆಶೀಶ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹುಡುಗ ನಿಲ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ. Point L. Okay, then he starts walking. He starts walking towards south. From point T, he is going towards south and walked for 35. See, this is already 15. If you go for 35, you have to go another 20 meters down. So from here, I have to go. ಈ ಕಡೆ ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಈ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ 15, ಬಟ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಮೀಟರ್ಸ್? 35 meters ಸೌತ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಫರ್ದರ್ 20. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 20 ಹೋಗಿ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ now what happens? He takes a right turn. He is actually moving in this direction. If he takes a right turn, he will be moving this side, means towards west, alva. Took a right turn and stops at point M. You don't know exactly. After walking, ಹೇಳಿದ ಅವನೇ 40 meters walk ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ point M ಅನ್ನೋ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಲ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. If you logically look at the given sentences, this is how much? 10. Between G and K, distance is 10. Between L and T, distance is 30. If you add this 30 and 10, you will cover the entire distance ಅಲ್ಲ. ಇದು 10 ಆದ್ರೆ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಕೂಡ 10 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು 10 ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇದು 30, ಟೋಟಲ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 40. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಅವನು G ಕೆಳಗೆ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ. ಯಾವ್ದದು? ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ M. ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದಾನೆ. ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾನೆ? 40. So if you draw a line here, this will be 10 and the remaining portion will be 30. So total will be 40. Okay, now you know the points. I'll just highlight the points by marking them with a different color. Here J, here it is L, here it is G. See, ಈ portion 15, ಇದು ಟೋಟಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು? 20. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಈ ಲೈನ್ ತನ ಈ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ 15 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ J ಇದೆ, ಈ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಇದು 5 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ 5 ಪ್ಲಸ್ 15 ಸೇರಿ ಟೋಟಲ್ 20 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ G ತನ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ M ಇದೆ. ಇದು 20 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 20 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೆ G ಮತ್ತೆ M ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 20ನೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಕೆಳಗಿಂತ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇದು 20 ಪ್ಲಸ್ 15 ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 35. ಅದೇ ಈ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಇರೋ 5 ಕೂಡ ಸೇರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಇದು J ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಈ J ಇಂದ M ತನ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 40 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಾವೆ. ಈ J, L, T, ಬಟ್ ಸಾರಿ J ಅಂತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅದೇ ನಮ್ ನೇಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ L, T ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇಮ್ ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಾವೆ. J ಮಾತ್ರ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ 5 meters ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಇದೆ, ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ G ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಕಡೆ K ಇದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ G and K are in straight line. Similarly, here it is M, and you don't know what is the exact point over here. So that's it. So these are the points, and this is point T. We have only 2 questions based on this particular information. So 29th solve ಮಾಡೋಣ. First of all, how far, what is the distance ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ, and in which direction is which point? Point G from point M. So from point M, what is the direction and distance of point G? Very clear, they are in straight line, no? So this is G and this is M. I have already written distance 20, and G is in which direction of M? North. So answer is 20 meters towards north. So ನೀವು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಅವನು ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ 5, 20 meters towards north. And one last question, if Ashish walks 10 meters towards north. 10 meters towards north from his final position. What is his final position? Obviously M. M is the final position. So from M, he has to walk towards north for 10 meters and he will reach a point D. Now the question is, how much distance will he have to cover in order to reach point J? So first 10 meters from final position, you will get D. So here M is here, ಅದೇ final position. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನಾವು 10 meters ನಾರ್ತ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಈ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ 20 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಮಿಡಿಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಡಿ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಸೊ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಡಿ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಜಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಂ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಾರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಜಿ ಇದು ಎಂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಟೋಟಲ್ 20, ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ 10 ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಿಡಿಲ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಡಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಸೊ ಡಿ ಬಂತಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕವರ್ ಟು ರೀಚ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಜೆ. ಸೊ ಡಿ ಇಂದ ಜೆ ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕವರ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಡಿ ಇರೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಜೆ ಇರೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಟೋಟಲ್ 20 ಇತ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕವರ್ ಆಯ್ತು 10. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ 10 ಇದೆ. ಸೊ 10 ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ ಜಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಜಿ ಇಂದ ಜೆ ಗೆ ಹೋಗೋಕೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ 20, 15 plus 5. So 5 plus 15, 20, 20 plus 10, 30. So from D he has to cover 30 meters to reach the final point J. ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ 30 meters ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್. He has to move for 30 meters from point D to reach point J. Yes, very good. So have you understood? ಸೊ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ನಮಗೆ 30 questions ನ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. I have shown you different patterns. All types of questions have been covered. Most of the questions have been covered. Maybe 1 or 2 patterns miss ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, but majority cover ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ. 2 sessions ಅಲ್ಲಿ directions ಅನ್ನೋ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್. So you can easily get around 5 marks. ಆರಾಮ್ಸೆ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಥ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಆರಾಮ್ಸೆ ನೀವು 5 questions ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಬಟ್ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಎ ಲಾಟ್. ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು, ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನಿಧಾನ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇರೆ, ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇರೆ. ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಸಣ್ಣ ಪುಟ್ಟ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ನಡೀತಾನೆ ಇರ್ತವೆ, ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? ದಟ್ಸ್ ಮೈ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್. ಸೊ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ಡ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ 25 questions today, 5 questions yesterday, and some example questions also. Overall around directions ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು probably 40 questions ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಆರ್ ಯು ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈಡ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್? ಸಿ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇರೋ ಮಾತು ಹೌದು. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ ದೇರ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಸೆಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೋಣ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ನ ಹಾಕಕ್ಕೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗೋ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಆದಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಸೆಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ನೋ, ಆರ್ ಯು ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈಡ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬೀನ್ ಥಾಟ್? Okay, so if you like the content, then you please do like, share and subscribe. You please comment as well. If you are watching the recorded video, please comment your you can comment your doubts, or you can comment your opinion on the class, etc. Okay. Thank you so much for your valuable time. So that's it for today. Good night. Have a good day.